The first and most powerful step in rebuilding yourself is to acknowledge exactly where you are right now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. It may sound simple, but this act requires deep courage and brutal honesty. Why? Because it forces you to stop running. It forces you to pause and face truths that might be uncomfortable or even painful. We live in a world that glorifies speed, distraction, and moving on. But healing and growth don't begin with movement, they begin with awareness. When you acknowledge where you are, you're saying, "This is my starting point. I may not like it, but I accept it." That acceptance is not weakness, it's power. It's the moment you stop lying to yourself, stop avoiding the hard stuff, and begin to take real control of your life. Acknowledging where you are means asking yourself tough but necessary questions. How do I truly feel right now? What am I carrying emotionally that's weighing me down? What patterns have I repeated that no longer serve me? What am I avoiding because it scares me? You don't have to share your answers with anyone, but you do have to face them yourself. This self-inventory is not about judgment, it's about clarity, because you can't rebuild what you haven't defined. You can't create a better version of yourself if you're still pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's also important to understand that acknowledging your current state doesn't mean settling for it. It's the opposite. It means you see your situation clearly so you can take informed, intentional steps forward. You can't heal a wound if you're pretending it doesn't exist. Sometimes we resist acknowledging our pain because we think it makes us weak. But in truth, recognizing your brokenness is the first step to reclaiming your strength. It's the foundation on which all real transformation is built. Ignoring where you are only delays your growth. Owning it sets you free. Think of it like a GPS. If you want directions to somewhere new, the system has to know your current location. The same is true with life. You can't reach the life you want if you're not honest about where you are starting. So today, give yourself permission to stop pretending. Look in the mirror not to criticize, but to see. See yourself fully. Own your reality, whether you're stuck, lost, overwhelmed, or just tired. Acknowledge it. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, and this chapter starts with truth. Rebuilding yourself doesn't just mean adding something new. It often begins with removing what's been silently destroying you. And for many of us, what's holding us back isn't outside of us, it's what we continue to carry. Pain, guilt, bitterness, toxic people, damaging habits, outdated beliefs. The truth is simple but hard to accept. You cannot build a new life with the same things that broke the old one. Letting go is not about forgetting the past, it's about choosing to stop reliving it. You can't keep rehearsing old hurt and expect new healing. What happened may not have been your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. You owe it to yourself to stop giving power to the things that already wounded you once. Why let them wound you again and again through memory, anger, or regret? Letting go means releasing the need for closure you may never get, the apology that may never come, and the justice that may never be served. It's choosing peace over proof. It's understanding that your healing matters more than your pride. Yes, you may have been hurt. Yes, it was unfair. But don't let the pain take up permanent residence in your heart. Sometimes what broke you isn't just a person or an event. It's a pattern. Maybe it's the way you talk to yourself. The way you sabotage opportunities, the fear of failure that keeps you stuck. Letting go requires a willingness to examine your inner world and say, "This no longer serves me." That can be scary, but it's also freeing. You don't have to carry shame, self-doubt, or anger into your future. Think of it this way. You wouldn't build a house on a cracked foundation without clearing the debris first. Rebuilding your life is no different. If you don't clear the emotional wreckage, the new life you're trying to build will always feel unstable. Letting go is that clearing. It's the emotional decluttering that makes space for peace, purpose, and growth. And yes, letting go is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Some things you'll have to release again and again, daily, hourly even, but with each release you create space for strength, joy, and renewal. You are not what happened to you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your trauma. You are the person who survived it, and now you are becoming the person who rises above it. So, take a moment today to identify what you've been holding on to that is quietly breaking you. Name it, grieve it if you must, and then make the brave decision to release it. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. Letting go is not weakness. It's one of the strongest things you will ever do, and it's one of the most essential steps toward rebuilding yourself. Once you've acknowledged where you are and begun to let go of what broke you, the next step is just as vital, defining the new you. This is your moment to ask, who do I want to become from here? Rebuilding yourself isn't just about recovering what you lost. It's about redefining who you are becoming. It's about stepping out of the shadows of your past identity and consciously creating a new version of yourself, shaped not by your wounds but by your wisdom. Too often we let life happen to us, we drift. We adapt, we react, but rebuilding yourself requires intention. This is your opportunity to get clear, not about what others expect of you, but about what you want for yourself. What does the new you stand for? What does the new you believe in? What are your boundaries, your goals, your values? You don't have to have every answer today, but you do need a direction. Think of this as drawing a blueprint for a new home. If you don't plan it, you risk rebuilding something that looks just like the place you left behind. So instead of rushing to move on, pause and vision forward. Ask yourself, who inspires me and why? What traits do I admire in others and want to embody? What kind of energy do I want to bring into relationships, into work, into life? What parts of my old self do I want to keep, and what do I want to transform? Defining the new you doesn't mean you erase your history. You're not rejecting your past, you're reclaiming your future. The new you is not a different person. It's the truest version of you, emerging after the noise, the pain, and the fear have been cleared away. You might also find that the new you is someone you've met before, perhaps in brief moments of clarity, joy, or courage. Rebuilding yourself means choosing to bring that version to life consistently. Maybe the new you sets boundaries without guilt. Maybe the new you dreams bigger, speaks more honestly, or treats themselves with more compassion. Whatever that looks like for you, make it real, name it. Own it. It helps to write it down, create a vision statement for yourself, not just a list of goals, but a declaration of identity. For example, I am a person who leads with love, lives with discipline, and walks with purpose. Or I am becoming someone who doesn't shrink to make others comfortable, who speaks up, and who honors my worth. When you define the new you, you give yourself a compass, a guide to make decisions, form habits, and create relationships that align with who you want to be. Life will still throw challenges your way, but when you're anchored in your identity, you won't be so easily shaken. You get to decide who you are becoming. That's not just freedom, it's power. Rebuilding yourself is not just a physical or external process. It is an internal transformation. You can change your job, your location, your relationships, and even your habits, but if you don't take care of what's happening inside your mind and spirit, you'll eventually find yourself back in the same place, drained, lost, or unfulfilled. That's why one of the most essential steps in your journey is this: invest in your mind and spirit. Your mind is your engine. It drives your thoughts, your beliefs, your choices, and ultimately your results. But the mind, just like the body, needs nourishment. It needs rest, clarity, and challenge. Feed it with knowledge, not noise. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to podcasts or talks that inspire new perspectives. Take time to reflect, journal, and question the limiting beliefs you've carried for years. A tired mind breeds doubt. A cluttered mind breeds confusion, but a focused, well-fed mind, that breeds resilience. It becomes your weapon against fear, distraction, and discouragement. The thoughts you allow shape the life you live, so guard your mental environment the way you would guard a precious treasure, because it is. Equally important is your spirit, whether you define spirit in a religious, spiritual, or simply human way. Your inner being is the core of your strength. It's where your values live. It's where your peace is stored. It's where you find the courage to keep going when everything around you says stop. To invest in your spirit means carving out time for stillness. This could be prayer, meditation, being in nature, or simply sitting in silence without distraction. In a noisy, demanding world, silence is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. Your spirit thrives in those quiet moments where you reconnect with who you are, why you're here, and what truly matters, and don't forget joy. Nourishing your spirit means making room for things that make you feel alive. Music, art, laughter, connection. Your healing doesn't have to be heavy. Sometimes the most powerful form of self-investment is allowing yourself to feel light again, even if just for a moment. This is not selfish, it's survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't show up fully in your work, your relationships, or your goals if your mind and spirit are running on fumes. When you invest inward, you elevate everything outward. Think of it like a garden. If you want to grow something beautiful, you must first take care of the soil, pull the weeds, add sunlight, water it daily. Your mind and spirit are that soil. The stronger and healthier they are, the more fruit your life will bear. So slow down, breathe, read, reflect, heal, laugh, pray, learn, whatever helps you grow inside. That is not wasted time, that is the work. You are your greatest asset. Treat yourself accordingly. Rebuilding yourself is not a single decision. It's a daily discipline. It's easy to get inspired, to make big promises to yourself, or to set massive goals in a moment of clarity. But true transformation doesn't happen in grand declarations. It happens in the quiet, consistent actions you take every single day. Every step, no matter how small, matters. In fact, it's the small steps repeated over time that create the biggest changes. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You just need to keep moving forward one step at a time. Daily action builds momentum, and momentum is what turns intention into transformation. Without action, your goals remain dreams, your healing stays a hope, your potential stays locked away inside of you. But when you start showing up for yourself every day, especially on the hard days, you start to believe in your own power. So what does daily action look like? It might be as simple as choosing healthier thoughts when your inner critic shows up. Waking up 30 minutes earlier to read, journal, or pray, setting boundaries and sticking to them, drinking more water, taking a walk, or moving your body with purpose, reaching out to someone for support instead of isolating. Saying no to something that drains you so you can say yes to something that fuels you. The key is consistency over intensity. It's not about doing it all at once. It's about doing something, anything, that aligns with the new you you're creating. One brick a day, one decision at a time, and yes, you will have days when motivation fades, that's normal, but here's the secret: you don't need to feel motivated, you just need to stay committed. Your commitment to your future has to be stronger than your feelings in the moment. Because feelings come and go, but discipline, that's where change lives. Also, don't fall into the trap of perfectionism. You will mess up, you will have off days. That doesn't mean you failed, it just means you're human. What matters most is that you get back up, start again, recommit, keep going. Progress is not linear, but persistence always pays off. Tracking your daily actions can help. Use a journal or app to mark what you did each day. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. When you see your own consistency, you start to trust yourself, and that self-trust is fuel. It's the proof that you are, in fact, rebuilding yourself, day by day. Remember, rebuilding isn't about speed, it's about direction. Keep taking daily action aligned with the person you're becoming. Even if no one sees it, even if it feels slow, the compound effect is real, and your future self will thank you. Because in the end, transformation is not about what you do occasionally, it's about what you choose to do consistently. You cannot rebuild yourself in isolation. While inner work is vital, the environment you place yourself in and the people you allow into your life play a powerful role in your transformation. If you're serious about becoming a new version of yourself, then it's time to surround yourself with growth. Your environment either fuels your progress or feeds your excuses. It either challenges you to rise or keeps you stuck in old cycles. That's why it's so important to evaluate the people, spaces, and influences you engage with on a daily basis. Ask yourself honestly, does this help me grow or hold me back? Let's start with people. Relationships are contagious. Their energy, habits, and mindset can shape your own more than you realize. If you're surrounded by negativity, laziness, gossip, or fear, it's only a matter of time before that seeps into your thoughts and actions. But when you're around people who push you to be better, who believe in your potential, and who live with intention, you begin to rise to that level too. You don't need a huge circle. In fact, growth often requires a smaller, more intentional community. Look for those who are not just cheering for your comfort, but your change, friends who call out your blind spots with love. Mentors who have walked the path ahead of you, peers who are also rebuilding, healing, or striving for something more. Those are the people who will help you stay focused when you feel like quitting. Next, consider your digital and mental environment. What are you consuming daily? Your social media feed, the shows you watch, the content you scroll through, all of it influences your mindset. If you're feeding your mind with comparison, drama, or hopelessness, don't be surprised when you feel drained or discouraged. Growth requires intentional input. Follow voices that speak life, truth, and motivation. Choose books, podcasts, and videos that sharpen your thinking and expand your vision. Your physical space matters too. Create environments that reflect the person you're becoming. Clean, organized spaces lead to clearer thinking. Add inspiration to your surroundings, quotes, vision boards, calming elements. Design your space not for who you've been, but for who you are becoming. And don't be afraid to outgrow people or places. Some relationships served a season, but not your future. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your growth to protect your peace. Growth sometimes requires distance, not from hate, but from misalignment. Ultimately, when you surround yourself with growth, you create a world where your new self can breathe, stretch, and thrive. It becomes easier to stay consistent when you're not constantly fighting against the current. The right people and environments don't just support your goals, they magnify your transformation. So be selective, be intentional, don't just choose what feels familiar, choose what fosters growth, because the person you're becoming deserves to be surrounded by everything that helps them bloom.